Thank you so much for having us today. Thank you so much for agreeing to the interview. And today I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And the fourth will be like message to the young generation. The first question is about what does it mean to be a woman?
Well, for me, I mean, part of that has been being a mother. I can't pretend that it hasn't been a vital part for me of being a woman. But I have loved the fact, I have loved my gender, my sex, and I really do still feel that women bring special attributes often to decision making. And so I'm a firm believer in here we are on International Women's Day, that we should be thinking about the ways in which women are still have struggles to secure equality in our society. I don't think that women are just child bearers, and I think that it's important that women have the choices to make about whether they want to have children or not and how many they want to have. And what we have found is that when you educate women, they make much clearer choices about the sizes of their families. And so we're not just baby producers, although it's a very fulfilling thing to be the people who are capable of bringing children into the world and creating, new generations. It's been a very fulfilling part of my own life. But I would not have liked my life to have been confined to having children. And being someone who has had a very fulfilling career, I've been in the law now for many decades, and I've found my work enormously fulfilling, and I would not have been as content as a woman if I'd not been able to combine being a wife, a mother, and a successful lawyer. But I mean, I think that women have to have all those choices, and why should it be confined to men? And I think that the struggle against patriarchy, that sense of entitlement that men have, that they should rule the world, has actually not delivered the best of outcomes. So let's see if we can't do it by sharing equally.
And what would be your message to the women in Azerbaijan? I'm from Azerbaijan, and we had a very modern society, but we have our challenges as well. We are 3 sisters in the family, and finally we had a brother at the end, and this was a victory for the family. So everybody was happy that finally we had a son.
Well, I was one of 4 daughters. And I'm happy to say that there was never a sense of being a disappointment. And I think those ideas, of course, they prevailed for a long time, and you have to ask yourself why. And it was because men were considered to be the people who within society who would be powerful, the people who would lead in different fields, and those ideas were promulgated by men, you can be sure. And so I think that the incredible thing is that women absorb those ideas too, because we're taught them, it's in our cultures. And so we have to change those cultures. And so we have to encourage women to see that simply being a producer of children is perhaps not the best way to be seen, because it gives you much less power, in fact, to change things in society, to make society better. I don't know whether domestic violence is a problem in your country. I suspect it is. There's nowhere in the world where it isn't a problem. And it's because women have not got the independence financially to be able to say, I'm not going to accept this, I'm going to leave, and to be able to create new lives. Having an education, having the opportunity of working and earning a living gives women the opportunity to make choices. And one of the choices they can make is to say, I'm not going to stay in relationships with men where I'm treated as a subordinate and where I'm treated perhaps in an abusive way. And so that's one of the great things that has happened in the last century, is that women around the world are saying no. We're not going to be second-class citizens. We're not going to be answerable to the demands and desires of men. We are people in our own right, and we have to assert that. And of course, good men. And I'm lucky that I'm married to a very good man who's a very successful surgeon, but he wanted to see me being successful in my own right. And I think that men who are confident of their own masculinity are not threatened by strong women.
Thank you so much. And what is your message to the young girls all over the world?
don't accept ill treatment. Please get yourselves an education, because once you have an education and once you have the ability to work and earn your own living, you can make choices and you don't ever have to accept the unacceptable. And I think, so I want to encourage women to feel that they can pursue their own ambitions and fulfillment. And I want to say to young men, don't be frightened by that. It actually makes for a much better life if you are living alongside women as equal as each other.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much for the interview. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.